Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you a special guest who has been on this show before. My good friend Zach Brazick, the Browns fan.
Hello, folks. Thank you, Jeremy, for having me on. It's my second time on the show, and
Yes.
it's a great honor to be back.
Thank you for coming on the show. It's been a great honor for you to come on, and you survived the dog pound through the 016 season
I
somehow.
did. I did. I was there for a game,
Yes.
and I survived.
All right. Now, we've already mentioned this before last time you were on the show, but how you became a Browns fan.
11 years ago, back when Peyton Hillis, aka Madden one-time star, was lighting it up. I remember just watching him, and orange was always my favorite color. And they beat Tom Brady once in like a
Nice.
week, like 10 game or something. And that was kind of it from there. Like I was always kind of an Eagles fan, but not much. So just jumped
There,
on them.
there you go. Now, I know you just recently went to the Browns Raiders game. Can you talk about that?
Oh yeah. So we got there Friday night thinking it would be on Saturday. We were 10 miles away from Cleveland and they moved the game. And I'm not from around Cleveland, in case anyone doesn't know that. So we were like driving for 6 hours and we got the alert. Like my dad's friend texted him and we were like, are we going to stay? And we were like, I guess we will. So it was really fun. We tailgated for a while, made some good food.
That's good.
Had good seats. We are kind of in the
Nice.
corner, next to the dog pound. And I mean, it was a great game. I mean, for
Yeah.
having Nick Mullins, and I mean, the end was the most depressing game or moment I've been to,
Yeah.
but the comeback was great. And like they had the little Harrison Bryant touchdown when they took the lead. It was probably the loudest I've ever seen First Energy Stadium. So it was a great time, and probably back to another game whenever I can with college. So
That's good.
yes.
That's good to hear. Now, coming into this season, your team had expectations. You just like went through being Pittsburgh in the playoffs last year. Coming into this season, you had high expectations for this team. How has this changed throughout the season with this team?
I mean, part of it was the COVID because that was the biggest game of the year yet. But I also think Baker kind of becoming the bad Baker again because it seems
Oh
like you
yeah.
never know. Like it goes by a year. He was
Uh-huh.
great, bad, great, and now pretty bad. And the defense hasn't come together. Their coordinator has been very inconsistent.
Hmm.
And I guess mostly just Baker being bad, and people thought the defense would be better than it actually is. So, yeah.
Now, I want to go more into Baker. What's your take on Baker Mayfield?
I mean, I've always liked Baker. I got his Funko Pop,
Ooh,
his rookie autograph.
nice.
But like I was thinking about it, I think Baker's kind of like Matt Ryan is now. And what I mean by that is like he's just kind of middle of the pack. And like
Yeah,
one year he's like 5,000 yards, and one year he's just garbage.
yeah.
And like the Falcons don't know what to do with him. And I think it's kind of the same with the Browns and Baker. I mean, we have him for next year. And I'd love to see him win because he did so much for us when everyone just laughed at us. But I'm not as confident as I ever have been that he can do that now, but we'll see
Uh-huh.
how the year ends.
Now, do you think you're going to resign Baker Mayfield, and would you want to resign Baker Mayfield?
I mean, like we have him next year, so it all depends on that next year. But if I had to decide right now,
Yeah,
not for not for more than 25, 30 million for sure.
yeah.
So yeah.
Hmm. Now, now we're going into this game this upcoming Saturday. We have Packers versus Browns, both our teams.
Christmas Day.
Yes, Christmas Day, if we're going to say happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
Now,
everyone.
this is like your first, I believe this is the Browns' first Christmas game ever. What is that like?
One thing about me is I've always wanted the Browns to play on Thanksgiving, and that hasn't happened either. So it's nice to have at least like some kind of holiday game.
Mhm.
Like Christmas is a very busy day usually, so we're kind of changing what we do a little bit so I can watch at least most of it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be exciting. Like be able to watch it with a bunch of family that I usually don't watch the games with, and I'll be the only Browns fan there. So it'll be fun. It'll be unique. And even if they lose, I think it'll be a little less depressing because it's Christmas. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be there for you.
it'll be fun.
Now, yeah. Now, what players? I know we've had to go through this of like, there's so many COVID issues, injuries. What guys are coming back for the Cleveland Browns this week?
It's confusing. Jarvis is back.
Okay.
Jedrick Wills is back, our left tackle.
Okay.
Baker is will be back, but like he hasn't practiced, but he'll be back from quarantine. Well, he's like probable. He's not
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Um,
Because I heard he was like eligible like that Saturday. He can come off, then he can go right into it.
yeah. So like he's probable, but he's not 100%.
Okay.
Clowney, they don't know. Like the guys who are out is John Johnson because of an injury, Greg Newsome, our rookie corner.
Yeah.
JC Treader got COVID today.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't spread to our O line. He was a Packer, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
he?
JC Char, he was pretty good. I remember him. I
Yeah.
liked his game. He was a great backup, like great solid guy addition. Now he's coming to like one of the best like players, even as the NFLPA president. He's become one of the best
Yeah.
players in the NFL too. It's like amazing to see him ball
Yeah.
out.
And our right tackle James Hudson's out, but he's terrible, so I don't care about that. And Miles Garrett's questionable,
We
but
also
it's
have
not.
Kareem Hunt too.
Yeah, I don't know when he'll play again. He might not play again this year at all. Maybe in 1 or 2 weeks.
I think the biggest question, like two of the biggest questions, is the quarterback issue, which Baker's probably going to play. The biggest
Yeah.
one coming in for me is Miles Garrett. He's not going to, they say he's not going to practice all week, but he's 50-50 is what Kevin Stefanski talked about today. Do
Hmm.
you think he's going to play, and how much of a like impact he's going to play for the Browns?
I think he'll probably play because he came back to the game on Monday night, like because he hurt himself in like the late third quarter, and he came back. He even almost blocked the last field goal.
Yeah.
Like he jumped like so high. So I think he'll play, but he'll probably be on a snap count. That's what they usually do. And I don't think he'll be as effective, but with Bakhtiari out,
Yeah.
he could take
Uh,
advantage, and we need him to.
yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, for us, we have Yosh Neiman, who's been a great like step up for us, but like whenever it's like this is like the issue of like if it's him and Miles Garrett, goodbye Yosh Neiman. He's gonna get killed by Garrett. That like you need a
yeah,
double team. Like Pack, that's the biggest matchup I like to see. Best pass rushers in the league, and you're facing like a Packers solid guy, but he's not great enough. That's like gonna be the key match if he plays of who's gonna do better in this the trenches.
yeah, for sure. And especially because Tack McKinley's out and Clowney is also questionable. So
Yeah.
we need at least some of them to play.
Mhm. Now, I know you didn't like Odell with the Browns, but
No.
do you want here's an interesting fact that I found out. Ever since the Browns have left, the offense has averaged less points per game than when he was with them.
Yeah.
Do you regret that move at all or no? Like getting rid of him?
Not really. I mean, I know he's done good with the Rams,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think it hurt us this year, but in the long run, it'll be better. Just like draft a receiver first round or try to get a high guy. I don't really know who's a free agent this year, but just keep Jarvis and Peoples Jones is pretty good. And I mean, wide receivers are our biggest need now, but I don't really regret getting rid of Odell just because of the bad history.
Mhm. Now, the Browns also had some Pro Bowlers that came into play. They had Miles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Wyatt Teller, and Denzel Ward. Did you think any of the guys for the Browns like they definitely deserved it, or like any like snub ones you think that should have been made?
Also, Joel Bitonio
Oh, Joe
too,
Tony.
with both regards, which I'm very happy both of them made it. That's the first time.
Hmm.
I think they all deserved it. Denzel was horrible in like September, but he's been really good since.
Hmm.
I don't think anyone really got snubbed. Maybe I really don't think anyone. Like maybe like our long snapper. But that's what I can think of.
I mean, for us, I think it's like DeAndre Campbell, like who's been graded from PFF as the best linebacker in the league, or one of the best. And
Yeah,
our punter, Corey Bojorquez, I think he definitely needs clutch and
exactly.
some time for that. But like for our team, it was only three guys. And like last year we had seven, but like half the guys are on IR or hurt. So I think the Packers are still doing what they're doing, which I'm impressed by. But Kenny Clark finally got recognition for like as a defensive tackle. That's what I'm proud of him for. But like
That's,
Rodgers, he doesn't care. He said he doesn't care about the Pro Bowl
yeah.
at all. He doesn't care. He's
He,
going straight away for the Super Bowl. He might
yeah,
get
he's supposed to make the Super Bowl anyway. So
yeah, he might get MVP, which I don't know if that's happening or what. That
I
doesn't. It's
I really think it should be Taylor or Cup, but if it's
I
Rodgers, I understand.
I mean, as what I've said about the MVP award, it's basically a QB award, but
I
there
know,
should
but
be.
it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Yes, there
Yeah.
should be recognition. Like if I don't know what the stats of Taylor is, but if you compare his stats to Derrick Henry, if they're better and definitely like way better, then I think he should get it. But it's kind of the hard decider between like I definitely think Cup and Taylor should get recognition for it. Like when I saw like the odds for it, it was like first five guys, all straight QBs. And Patrick Mahomes is like not even better of what he put up this season than those guys. I think like
Exactly.
you should definitely have like Taylor or Cup at like 3 or 4, or like maybe 2. I definitely think it's like going to be a QB who's going to win it, but
Probably.
it's going to be a hard decider between like because Brady and Rodgers basically all had one terrible game. If you look at the stats and all that,
Brady
it's
just did.
yeah.
So
If Brady keeps like it's between like whoever can keep the pace, it's going to be that. But yeah,
yeah, I think like the only way Taylor or Cup could win is if Rodgers has a couple bad games and if one of them gets like 2,000 yards. I think that's the only way, or
hmm
something like that.
yeah, I think that could be the way too.
Yeah.
Now, also coming into this game, you have Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league. And the
Yeah.
Packers officially, it's been today, folks, that Kenny Clark is off the COVID list. So he will be playing, which
Oh,
hurts the Browns. I will say that because if you watched last week, we were terrible at not stopping in the middle. And that's another key matchup. I think it's going to be between the Browns offense of how they're going to score. I think that's going to be it. I don't know what your thoughts are about that, but I think that's going to be a key matchup in the game.
probably. Yeah. Especially with Treader out. Like our guards are going to have to really step up for sure.
Yeah. Now, with the Browns, how confident are you with this team of making the playoffs?
Making the playoffs, kind of, because I saw a stat. If we beat like this game doesn't even matter. If we beat
Yeah.
the Steelers and Bengals the last two, we have like a 50% chance because we just need like the Ravens to lose like one or two games because we have the tiebreaker over everyone in our division.
Mhm.
So I'm confident making the playoffs, kind of, but I'm not confident in this Packers game, unfortunately.
I mean, just talking about the AFC North, what has happened in that division? Because it's like there's a new like contender up and like who's up in the driver's seat, and then they fall right down the next week. It's been like Bengals this week. Oh, they suck. Browns again, rest
Yeah.
like etc. Like what has been going on with that?
It's nice to finally have a division where like you can win it with only like 10 wins because it used to always be like the Steelers would win like 13 games or something. So
Mhm.
it's nice to have a competition. It's just crazy. I mean, it's made this year a lot more fun
Yeah.
and whoever wins wins. I just hope it's not Baltimore because I'm tired of Lamar. I mean,
I'm tired of him too. But I think if like the Ravens, like I also heard news of today that Huntley is gonna start in the upcoming game. I don't know who the Ravens are playing this week, but
they
uh,
play the Bengals and
Bengals.
the Steelers play the Chiefs.
So now would you want the Bengals to win that game because then you would like face the Bengals eventually, and then you can get eventually more of a tiebreaker of them?
I think I'd rather have the Bengals win because I just hate the Ravens a lot more, and we play the Bengals again, so we can beat them then.
Now, well, I looked at today was there's a way how Cleveland Browns can get eliminated this week, and it's like very wild of how it can happen. Is Cleveland loses, Baltimore wins, Pittsburgh wins, Vegas wins, Chargers win, Colts, Buffalo, and Tennessee.
I mean, I'm very happy it's that many things though, because probably won't happen, luckily.
Mhm. And
But it is bad to know that there's a chance. That's never good.
you
But
better add like no one can clinch the AFC North. AFC North yet. No one can clinch it this week. Who is the biggest threat? I know you like kind of mentioned the Ravens. Do you think it's more the Ravens or Bengals, Steelers, like wise?
I think I don't know. Like every team's so weird. Like the Steelers look horrible and then look good. The Bengals. I think the Bengals just because they're in first right now. And I just, with Huntley still starting, I think of them and they have like tied for the best record. But
Mhm.
it's really so close. It's really like basically even with every team. The Browns maybe a little less, but it's pretty crazy how close it is.
Yeah, I think it's the Bengals just for me because Ravens are badly hurt with their guys.
Yeah.
Steelers, I don't like that. I think that was just luck of how the Titans, because Titans are like just turning over the ball over last week. That was the issue. I don't
Yeah.
think Pittsburgh's really much of a threat if you want to say in the AFC for playoff wise. I think
Yeah.
it's like it's between the three teams. I think Bengals are the most like threat to you guys, but it would be helpful for the Bengals to win this week. That would be helpful for the Browns.
Very true. Yeah.
Now, also into this game, you have Devontae Adams, one of the best receivers in the game, I like to say. And then you have Denzel Ward. Who do you think it's going to be a one-on-one matchup or like two-on-one? Because last week they did two on Devontae, and Devontae still killed the Ravens.
Yeah, I think probably they'll just have Denzel and him all game, especially because Greg Newsom's out. So we're gonna be very thin at cornerback except Ward. So we'll probably just put Ward on him, see
Yeah.
how that goes, and then figure out the rest. That's what I guess. The Browns don't double team often. Joe Woods doesn't like to do that for some reason, but it is possible if
Yeah.
he has a good start.
Yeah. I mean, we're also without MVS, who just got on the COVID stuff, so that helps you out of your
All
defense
right.
because like a deep threat. But we have
Yeah.
like Lazard, Mercedes, all the other guys. It's basically if you like stop Devontae in our run game, that like brings it out then because it's like that's like where it's happening with the team right now. That's basically where we're at.
Yeah. Same with the Browns. It's all just like stopping Chubb and Landry. That's really it, pretty much.
No-
Usually.
Yeah. Now, what are like the strengths and weaknesses for his team have you been seeing this entire season?
Strengths is the run game and most of our O line. I don't really like Jedrick Wills, but he's still young. He's just so slow with his feet. Um, so like the O line, our running backs are incredible. Our tight ends are a really good core. Like there's no one amazing, but we have three really solid ones. Um, and our corners are a strength and our D line, but like our secondary, our like safeties, our wide receivers, most of them are pretty shaky, and Baker's a big question mark. So that's what I'd say. And we finally got a new punter, Dustin Colquitt.
Let's go.
We
Is
was
that the
talking about that
former
last
is
time.
that the former chief punter? I think it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Okay.
For like 15 years, he was the Chiefs punter.
And when did he get cut? Did he get cut like last week?
Yeah, Colquitt played Monday, so that
Huh.
was cool.
Did he
Yeah.
does he I don't know, like I know he's like a Pro Bowler and all, but like has he done like good this season?
He was a Falcon, so I really don't know what he did with the Falcons, but he played good on Monday and it was very windy, so I'm
Oh,
excited with that.
that's good.
Yeah.
Now, with your new head coach, like a second year, Kevin Stefanski, first year, he helps you guys finally get to the playoffs in like about 20 years it's been for the Browns making the playoffs. How do
Yeah.
you feel about Kevin Stefanski, of him like coming into his new system? What do you think about him now?
I like him. He's a little too run heavy for me. He uses like three tight end formations, a little way too much. But I mean, you can't complain. It's really hard to be a coach, and I like he's a really good leader. His play calling's okay. Like if we didn't have Nick Chubb or Hunt, I think he'd struggle a bit, but for what we have now, he's really good. And yeah, that's what I'd say. He's solid.
Yeah.
Coach of the year last year. Right? Yeah, I
Oh,
think so. Yeah.
yeah, he was coach of the year last year. That
Yeah.
was pretty good for him. Now, also last year, you like give me through your feelings of how you went from like the last week of the regular season and you go the next week to Pittsburgh, you face them twice, you beat them. Help describe me how the feeling was of that playoff game, of how you felt like a dream for you.
Oh my God. For me personally, the like week 17 game was even better. Just
Yeah.
making the playoffs. Cause like just little like 10-year-old me would always just hope they make the playoffs. And for them to finally do that was just crazy. It was in Cleveland, which was great. And
Mhm,
that was just like I cried a little, like just hugged all my family.
mhm.
Um and the playoff game, like it didn't even feel real because we were just winning like 28-0, like 35-7 at halftime. It was just crazy. And just kind of felt like a dream. And the Kansas City game was was fun too, but sad we couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, it was on that fourth down stop for you guys. Vandy Reed finally just like somehow he gets in. It was like barely caught. It was like annoying to watch. Like I was
That's
cheering for
yeah.
Cleveland too. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember.
I was cheering for Cleveland for that. It was like I rooted for the Cleveland Browns because I remember after that 0-16 season, I made a promise to I would root for the Browns except against my team. Not happening. But I would root for them and cheering for them the rest of the way if they went far. I would always do that for you. And so far it's come true. But this season it's been a disappointment, I would say, for the Browns.
Yeah, I know we're 7-7. We just like won a game, lost a game. We can't like win two in a row. It's just crazy. We haven't since week 4.
Hmm.
So if you can't do that, then it's tough.
I mean, for us, the craziest stat I know of my head coach, he's never, as a Packers head coach, he's never lost 2 games in a row.
Oh, that kind of makes sense though. Yeah.
I've like, that's like been the most like mysterious thing. Like, he can like have a win streak, but he never loses twice though. That's like the most interesting thing I found about him.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Now, go like we're not into this, but in the free agency and draft, what would you guys be hoping to get besides wide receiver and try to draft up there? I know David Njoku, he's a free agent after the season. Would you want to re-sign him?
I would love to resign Njoku. Like he was our third tight end entering the year, but he's been the best one this year for sure. Second in the team in receiving yards
Mhm.
behind Donovan Peoples-Jones. His hands are a lot better. Like they're still not perfect, but I would love to resign him. I'd rather have him than Hooper. And yeah, just get a wide receiver, some like O-line depth, and like safeties, linebackers a little. And that's what I'd go after.
Mhm. Do you regret making that Austin Hooper move at all? Like giving the big cash, do you regret that move?
A little bit, but I'm a fan of him, but he's way overpaid for sure. So if we got rid of him, I wouldn't be sad at all because of the money.
Mm-hmm. All right. We touched on this a little bit, but what are you hoping with this team now? What are you hoping the Browns accomplish? Just the playoffs, like one and done in the playoffs? Like, what are you hoping to get out of this team right now?
If we make the playoffs, that would be like that's like the big dream.
Mhm.
Like actually like have fans at a playoff game this time and just get there again 2 years in a row would be crazy. I just hope we can win, like have a winning record, like win 2 of the next 3. Um, and just hope Baker looks okay and hopefully no like bad ACLs because we're mostly planning for next year now. Like we could still make the playoffs, but mostly we're just trying to get ready for next year. And yeah, that's about all.
Mhm. Now, I will. So
Yes.
let's look to see how this will go. If Cleveland wins, you need this. If the Bengals win, this is a side I think for the AFC East, but
It's very true.
you have to fight out for it. You have to fight it. And you have to hope that Pittsburgh loses to Kansas City. It's like a hard, like fought battle is where it has to go. You hope the Texans win, but that's not happening. Yeah,
It is not.
you gotta hope that. Like, I don't think they're in the playoff picture if they like win this week, but when you look at the road and you hope to see it, you hope the Chiefs win that game. Then you hope like that happens. You just keep seeing it. Browns win it, and
There we
Browns.
are.
You see the Browns right there. So that's like gonna be a key decider. The bad news I will say is the Steelers who are facing against no Kelsey and no Hill this week. That's a hurt for the Browns, I will say.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Oh,
play the Rams. Yeah, there you go.
there you go. So you have that. Colts are gonna make it, but you keep seeing this, and you have the first, and then you have the Titans lose. Let's say for that, goodness sake, there's
Why not?
somehow there's somehow a way for this team to get the number 1 seed. Somehow, I don't know how, but the Browns have a chance to get the number 1 seed.
Oh,
Would you be very happy of that and not care what happened in the playoff if you got the number 1 seed?
I mean, if we have the 1 seed, I hope to win at least one game, but that would be crazy. I didn't even know it was still possible. but
Yeah,
I guess it makes sense. Yeah. If like
yeah,
the Chiefs lose out.
yeah. Because I was looking at over where was it? I had it for Cleveland because like there was like I was just looking at here of where Cleveland has the chance, and they are like going for I saw from the first seed all the way to the like seventh seed. That's like all like possible like spots they can get in those playoff spots.
Yeah.
That's all playoff spot. But then just looking at it here, you have to hope these two like lose. Like one of them like mostly loses, but you have to hope it out for you guys because right now, as you mentioned before, you have the tiebreaker over Pittsburgh, over the Ravens, and over the Bengals. Would you be happy with one and Bengals one?
It won't be, yeah, because then we play Pittsburgh next Sunday night, so then we could jump right over them.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And here's like your possible somehow.
come on, Niners.
That's all we're hoping for. And then where was I? Have it right here is exactly where Cleveland can get the number one seed.
Crazy.
I don't see any of these teams getting the number one seed. I just don't see it for any of my sake.
No.
I think I said this before. I had this in my prediction video earlier this year. Was the Browns winning the division? I had that, but I still think it's the Browns. Like I think it's still the Browns. Like way. Like the Bengals have like shown it. Like they're more bigger threat, but I think it's the Browns like chance to win it because all you need is just a Bengals win and win out and like have a great like win. That's all you need for the Browns, I would say.
Exactly.
That's what I would say. All right, we'll stop sharing that. All right, before we head out, folks, we have to get our score predictions out. Zach, we will start with you as our guest. What will you say for the Browns?
I would love to pick. I'm actually not going to pick the Browns. I would love
Oh,
to. I'm going to pick the Packers 28-27 and then just move on to Pittsburgh because that game means like 10 times more. And that's my prediction.
I think also for the Pack, I think it's going to be the Packers that win it here. I will go by a touchdown. I'm going to give it to that because I think it's still going to be if Baker plays and Myles Garrett plays, then I think it's going to be decided by a touchdown. I think that's going to be it for the Packers, which I'm going to give it 28-21. I'm going to give the Packers because I have more faith in the Packers than the Cleveland Browns because of I don't trust the Cleveland Browns like offense, like because of like all the injuries and the COVID issues. That's where I have to draw the line a little bit there, though.
Makes sense. Definitely could have.
This is what I found on NY Times. If you want, folks, if you out there, if you want to look at your team's playoff chances, use the site NY Times. It's a free website. But right now, as we already showed this before, Cleveland right now has a 21% chance at making the playoffs. And as you see here, these are the big games that will decide for Cleveland. This game means less. This is like the games that matter because if Cleveland wins these two and lose the Packers, let's say, they're getting close to a 50% chance, which seems reasonable. And this is with before any of the teams play. This is just a Browns schedule. If they go 2 out of 3, if they go 3 out of 3, look at that. You got 96. Yeah. So folks, that is what if you want to look at your team playoff chances, look up New York Times playoff chances and you will find that for your playoff team and just click on that. Now, if we want to go very steadily, Zach, let's see what you want the Browns to get.
The 4 is by far the most likely.
All right. But the 4th seed, you have the 83% chance. Now, if you lose this game, you have over 25% chance. But we didn't do these games yet.
Yeah.
You have, let's say, Bengals win. You get a higher chance. Chiefs, up to 50. And you keep growing as you see this. This, I think, is going to be a Rams win. That's just me. This game, I think it's a Chiefs win. And you keep climbing up the ladder. And the Browns, you win that. Why is it not? There we go. Browns win that. Boom. and then you keep seeing it. Somehow that's a factor in. I don't know how that's a factor in the game.
Oh, because of the 4 seed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you hope that happens. Oh wait, you hope that happens, but I highly doubt Texans win. I think it's gonna be Titans. But you look at this. Who would you want in the last week to win, the Ravens or the Steelers?
The Steelers for sure. They have half a win less.
And as you see, folks, they're in. That's all Cleveland has to do. You gotta literally just do your job and hope you gotta come. You gotta hope for it. But Zach, what is your Christmas wish for the Browns?
Christmas wish for the Browns is sneak into the playoffs and keep Jarvis. Don't be stupid. We got to keep him because all of our other receivers are so young and just not that good.
Well, Zach also do football cards. So please show me some of your football cards.
I brought this 2 with me here. The Baker I showed off earlier. Hopefully he'll go off. And my main guy is Jarvis. If you want to see a lot of Jarvis Landry. Yeah, that's shiny.
That's very juicy there.
Very juicy. BSC cards on Instagram. Posted today. I'll post a link for this video too. And follow me there.
I'll leave the description, folks, down below if you want to look at Zach's cards, which I already mentioned before as our sponsor and in one of our videos before. I will share the link to you folks of where you can find this man on Instagram and look at all of his football cards. Zach, is there any where else besides Instagram that they can find you?
I have a YouTube. It's the same, but I don't post much. But I might do a collection video soon for my Jarvis Landry collection. So you can still follow me there.
Well, folks, please, if you want to reach out to Zach and look at his stuff, go check out his YouTube channel, support his channel, check out his Instagram, which he mostly cares. He wants 1,000 followers and more. Please support him for that. As we have grown our channel, we want to help support our guests and make him grow more, folks. So Zach, thank you for once again coming on the show and appreciate it, man. I very appreciate it.
Anytime. Go Browns. Enjoy the holiday, the game, and see what happens. And go Bengals and Chiefs this week.
This is going to be a fun game for us.
It will.